Hi there, this is Stuart Fensterheim, the couples expert, welcoming you to episode 87 of my weekly podcast. I am so happy you're joining me to listen today as I talk about, rather predictably, Thanksgiving. The holidays are on us and we're heading toward Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's. The end of 2016. It really seems hard to believe, but Thanksgiving is already here. Thanksgiving, a time to be grateful, and I know we're all grateful that the election is over, that's for sure. And we all know who our president-elect is. My hope is that all of us can get down to the business of living and not be so stressed and overwhelmed by some of the election results or what happened in the primary and then the election. What I'm aware of is that there's lots of feelings that come with this. And with that, I hope all of you will begin to really put that aside and let us all focus on loving each other. Letting the world know that as far as our mission, the connection between you and your partner, that is the most important thing in the world. The mission that we have here on this podcast is to have couples be able to really understand how important they are to one another. And we want to let the world know that our mission is to have everyone focusing on what we all need to feel loved, connected, and know our partners in a very authentic way, and not allowing the triggers of an election or the triggers of anything take us away from knowing that we are with that one special person in our life that has our back. This week's podcast is about having healthy relationships during Thanksgiving, about finding what you're grateful for in your life and connecting with your loved ones in the spirit of the holiday season. How you make this Thanksgiving the best you've ever had with your partner, your kids, your parents, and extended family is really about having the right attitude, and the attitude being about connecting with the people in your life. I want to start out, though, with a quote that I found that I thought was really relevant to our podcast today, which is a quote that says, "The real gift of gratitude is that the more grateful you are, the more present you become." Robert Holden said that. I believe it's true, and it's really what our Thanksgiving podcast is really about. That gratitude is really about letting yourself be grateful for the different things in your life. As I look around me and I look back on this year, I certainly see how I have a great deal to be thankful for. My life isn't always perfect, and it's not always easy, but I have a wonderful wife, 2 children that I love and I feel loved by, a great job, and amazing opportunity of getting my message of love and connection out to the world. And I am so very grateful for that. And I'm grateful to all of you for joining me every single week on this podcast, where we get together, sit down, have a cup of coffee together, just sort of chill out and talk a lot about having a relationship that is so meaningful, where each one of us feels that we can just be who we are and know that we're loved for it. And that you join me on this mission to really allow us to say to each other and to the world, to shout out and say, love is what makes the world go round, and that by our joining one another every week, we stay focused on really giving back to each other the meaning that we all have, which is to really acknowledge how thankful we are to have each other in our world. This attitude of gratitude can really start you on this journey of appreciating for all the wonderful things in your life, especially this holiday season. The more you can find to be grateful for, the more you'll find to be grateful for. It's really a paradox of thankfulness, that when we start looking for gratitude, the things in our world that we can turn to someone and say, I'm really grateful, that gratitude does become an attitude of really looking for those opportunities every single day to tell someone how thankful you are and that you are really grateful that they bring such meaning to you because of their presence in it. Today I'm going to be talking about having a healthy relationship during the holidays. For some people, Thanksgiving is about food, sports, for sure, at my house especially, and just relaxing. For others, it could be a time of struggle, though. There could be lots of stress and anxiety with family getting together and a lot of obligations that we all have to meet. People that we see, travel stress, anxiety about hosting parties or cooking for a crowd. My mother just left for Washington, D.C., where my brothers live, and I found out that there are going to be in my sister-in-law's house 33 people that they're cooking for. That's a crowd and a half. And I'm going to be here with my wife and children and my two in-laws having a nice, intimate Thanksgiving. And I think I'd really prefer mine over that one because that is a lot of people to interact and relate to, although we do have a blast when we get together. So I think both bring different things to you. But what I do understand is that it is about how we look at it. It doesn't have to be bad for 33 people, and it doesn't have to be bad for 5 people. I did see a news report yesterday, though, when we start talking about flight delays, that it's starting already, and today's Monday. It brought me back to my own PTSD, which I call post-traumatic stress Delta. When my wife and I couldn't get home from Rome because Delta canceled all their flights, the good news was they took responsibility. And it's now made it easier for my wife and I to go to Mexico for my niece's wedding. Madison, once again, congratulations on your wedding. Debbie and I can't wait to see you and Dan tie the knot. Thanksgiving can be a time to connect with your loved ones. Spend some quality time, focusing time with your partner and you, making it a best holiday you've ever had together. This is something that needs to be acknowledged overtly, I believe. You have to be talking about this with your partner in a very determined way that says, similar to when I've talked about rituals, about really saying to each other, the reason we're doing this is about connection. You need to turn to one another and say, this holiday season, this Thanksgiving, we're going to make it the best Thanksgiving we've ever had. And make a commitment to make sure that the two of you realize what's important. And it's the two of you being together, making a statement to one another and to the children that connecting in a loving, caring way is what we're going to do this holiday. What we have to avoid is letting the little things get you down. You can have a wonderful day together, but making the moments that you share one another, with school letting out, with time off, with Black Friday just coming up around the corner, let each other know that what you want to do is make memories. Memories that you can look back on and say, this really was a loving, caring time that me and my partner and the children spent together, making it a special and meaningful day. What we know is when you get together with family, those times, those gatherings can be really rough. There are always those wild card, unknown moments that just throw you for a loop, things you don't even expect. Maybe someone drinks too much or tells an off-color jokes in front of the kids, or the kids' table erupts in hysterics right in the middle of a very serious time. Worse yet, what if your child decides his cousin has cooties and decides that out of the 15 choices that there are in Thanksgiving meal, there's not one thing on the table that they can eat? I relate to this very, very much with my kids, who were very picky eaters growing up. And there was bound to be things that they just wouldn't want to touch. And then you worry about offending someone. So the key with this is not allowing yourself to get too stressed by it and having a breakdown, or a meltdown, as I call it, with the children in front of everyone. Or deciding that sometimes you're going to just overlook certain behaviors that you see because it's easier, and not arguing about it, and not bringing up the fact that here you are, the two of you at someone's home, and now you're not going to discipline because your family is here. That's crazy. That's the kind of stuff that pulls people away from one another and triggers you. Let yourself be gentle with yourself and with each other. Find the humor in it. There's always a way to look at a situation and just laugh. You need to be each other's support and confidant, and showing each other that what matters more than anything is how you feel about one another, and that you're going to always send that message. Send the message that says, if your mom's driving you nuts, I'm here. Just come to me and tell me we need to go for a walk, and I'll go with you, and we'll go outside. We'll do something that sends the message to your partner that you're there for them no matter what. I have a number of couples right now that I'm seeing who are talking about family coming into town. And what it does is it pulls the two of them so far away from each other, because you have one person saying, well, why can't you just understand? They only come once or twice a year. The other one saying, what? All of a sudden I'm nothing and everything's about what you want? Those triggers can skyrocket, pull the two of you away from each other, and it becomes more of a trigger, not just today at Thanksgiving, but throughout the rest of the next few months, or possibly redefining your relationship. You don't want to do that. You want to be there for one another. Let the love that you have be the most important thing. The content, or winning and losing and being right and wrong, has to be less important than how you feel about one another. You know, one of the things that's coming up that I wanted to sort of share is that I just got done recording my video series. I've been talking a little bit about this, and I'm so excited that coming on February 2017, my 4-part video series is going to be released for helping all of my listeners of this podcast, the people who see me on my 3 Minutes with Stuart video, and even those that may not even know now about me or need any counseling, but just want to take a relationship from good to great, to really understand what it takes to take a relationship and have it be a transparent, authentic, connected relationship. Stay tuned for more information as we get closer. Now, one of the things that comes up a lot for couples is not having any place to go. That we hear stories of people getting together with family, but some of us can't travel home for the holiday. And it really can cause some feelings that come up and surface that makes it really a hard time for you to just feel like celebrating. What you want to try to do is make it a special time for you and your partner, and make that as important to you as being with your family, because what you don't want is your partner to feel like they're not important and that you don't really care, and that your life doesn't feel so good when it's just the two of you, because that is the life that you are creating. So what are some ideas that you could do is, why not host something in your home for people and friends that don't have family in town? Create something in your home for those people that you do know and have it be a time of celebration for all of you to connect to one another. Invite them into your home for a meal. Go volunteer at one of the shelters to give to the homeless. It's really a wonderful opportunity to really begin to recognize how lucky we are when we reach out and we see those that don't have family, don't have people, don't have enough to eat, and we can count our blessings much more when we see that. You know, volunteering at a local mission is really something that me and my children did a couple of times. And when we've done that, it really brought us closer together. Children need to be reminded that having a meal every single day, 3 meals a day, snacks included, is not something that everyone has. So the more that we can send that message to our children that you guys should feel so lucky that you get to have a roof over your head, food in your tummy, and people who love you, acknowledge how special that is, because not everyone has that. Make sure you set some time aside just to be grateful and acknowledging with each other. You know, I'm one of these folks, and it's probably because I'm a counselor, but I'm one of these folks that really like doing on Thanksgiving for everyone to go around the table and say what they're grateful for. My wife sometimes looks at me with this look and says, "Oh no, here we go again." And sometimes I back away and I say, okay, we're not going to do it this time. But I do think it is important that we acknowledge each other as being the most important thing in each other's lives. It is the relationships that make the world a better place. And telling your partner specifically, not just "I love you," but specifically why and how they make your world a better place is important for them to hear. And if you do that, if you take today and say, starting today, I'm going to tell my partner exactly what they mean to me and why, and I'm going to do it every day until Christmas. So over the next, for the next 25, 30 days, every single day, you're going to let your partner know that. You will not recognize this relationship that you have. And if both of you are doing it, it will change the course of any dilemmas, any challenges that you have. If you do this every single day and focus on that and not on the things that aren't going well, I challenge all of you and my listeners to this podcast to take a challenge that starting this day, that you're going to turn to your partner before you go to bed at night every single day, telling them what you appreciate and how they make your world a better place. Your sex life will be better. You will be happier. Both of you will be in a better mood, and your relationship will transform in 30 days. What do you have to lose? Don't be a doubting Thomas here. Don't let your negativity get the better of you. Recognize that both of you have such an influence on each other, and your moods impact each other, and your love for one another needs to be strong enough to say, I will make sure I always tell my partner how meaningful they are to me. You do that, you will have the best Thanksgiving that you've had in many years. Something to keep in mind as I close today is that we all have a tendency, and we've been raised in a society that focuses so much on the negative, on what's not working, thinking that if we talk about that, it's going to change something. My experience in my own life, in my life with my clients, in my clients' lives, it doesn't. What changes things is when we turn to our partners and begin to talk about how important they are to us, and that we need them, and they need us, and that we're committed to each other's happiness. When we shift from focusing on the negative and begin to focus on the positives, wonderful things happen. The challenges that you have in your life become less, and you feel stronger as an individual, you feel stronger as a couple, and you'll feel stronger as a family, and feel more proud of what you are showing your children, and that they begin to see how important letting people know how good they make you feel, that those things will accomplish so much more in having you feel like a happier couple and a family that loves and is connected to one another. By doing that, it gives you so many opportunities to spend time with those people that are important to you, your parents, your siblings, your friends, and begin to be thought of as that one couple. Man, they always seem so up, so positive, so much in love. And you could look them square in the eye if someone says that to you and says, yes, because we've chosen to keep our relationship to where we always, always, always acknowledge what we mean to one another. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all the very best Thanksgiving you've ever had. And just to reiterate what I said earlier, I am so grateful for each and every one of you joining me here every week, allowing me to get on my soapbox and talk about the topic that I am so passionate about, which is helping couples throughout this world really recognizing that who you are is enough, and that each one of you has it in you to really have that relationship with your current partner that will say to them and they to you that you're loved and that the two of you are so important to one another, and that nobody makes your world a better place, and that the connection you have makes you a better man and a better woman. Happy Thanksgiving, and please stay connected. So long for now. Bye.